Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Mercer, 31. I live in Denver and consult in product analytics. The thing I keep on me is a steel fountain pen from graduation. The weight reminds me I signed my own life. Tonight, our family group chat lights up like a siren. Elaine, my mom, drops the holiday invite. Before I can type yes, Marcus replies, "Don't bother coming unless you're finally useful." No emoji, no wink, just that. My phone buzzes again. Mom, calling on speaker. "Sweetheart," she says, syrup thick. "You're still coming, right?" Marcus found a place he loves. The bank needs a cosigner. It's family. I stare at the ceiling. That what useful means now. She exhales, stage calm. "It'll be smoother this time. The title's already clean. Do you call this loyalty or betrayal? Comment your verdict." Huh. Marcus has been the son in our house since we were kids. When he totaled Dad's sedan at 17, it was, "Boys learn by doing." When I brought home a B+ in calculus, I lost my weekend. He skipped college and tried businesses that burned out like cheap fireworks. I took scholarships and part-time jobs, paid rent on rooms that smelled like old paint, and kept going. I fixed their roof when a hailstorm punched holes through the shingles. I floated Marcus a temporary loan once and ate ramen for a month. When I finally set boundaries, helped sometimes, not always. I became arrogant, ungrateful, too big for family. The call ends with Mom's soft threat, "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." I put the phone down and tapped the fountain pen against my palm, counting beats. If the title is already clean, why is a cosign so urgent? Why does that word taste like bleach? I open my banking app, scroll to Marcus's saved account, and type in $0.01. Memo line, "Hope this helps." I hit send and wait for the explosion. The explosion comes faster than I expect. My phone rings, Marcus's name blaring. I almost let it go to voicemail, but curiosity wins. "A penny?" he roars the second I answer. "You think this is funny? I'm about to get my first real place, and you, what, mock me?" I let him burn through a minute of rage, my pen balanced between my fingers. "You told me not to come unless I was useful," I say finally. "That's me being useful." Silence. Then his voice drops, quieter, colder. "Maybe if you'd helped Dad with that loan last spring, he wouldn't have had to put the house in my name." The words hang like frost in the air. My pulse kicks. "What are you talking about?" "Nothing," he mutters fast, as if choking on the slip. "Forget it." Then he hangs up. I can't forget. My grandfather Samuel's will was crystal. Richard, our father, would hold the Aspen Ridge house in trust until Marcus and I both turned 30. At that point, it would be split evenly, no exceptions. I turned 31 this year. Marcus is 34. The house isn't his alone. I pace my apartment, the city lights outside streaking like knife edges. My memory needles me. Dad once called, asked for a loan, $4,500, said it was urgent. I asked for details, got none, refused. He never brought it up again. And now Marcus claims the house is in his name. By morning, I take the day off. Tell my assistant it's a family emergency. It's not a lie. I drive across town to a storage unit I haven't opened in 2 years. Dust rises as I tug a cardboard box labeled Estate, Grandpa S. Inside, yellowing letters, a certified will, copies of deeds. I flip pages with shaking fingers, and there it is in black ink, 50-50 split, no exceptions. My chest burns, but my hands go cold. The fountain pen feels heavier than usual in my pocket, as if urging me forward. Someone's lying, and the paper proves it. I take photos of every page, tuck them into a folder, and lock the unit. There's only one person I trust to look at this with me. A friend from college, Rachel, now a real estate attorney. I text her one line, "Need your eyes on something. Serious." Rachel meets me that afternoon at a cafe near her office. She's the kind of person who doesn't waste words, which is exactly why I trust her. I slide the folder across the table. She skims, her brow furrowing deeper with every page. "Daniel," she says at last, tapping the clause about joint ownership, If your dad transferred the property into Marcus's name without disclosing this, that's not just sloppy. It's potentially fraudulent. Fraudulent, I repeat, the word catching in my throat. As in, criminal? She looks me straight in the eye. If he claimed sole ownership while knowing the trust terms, yes, that's fraud. The cafe hums around us, spoons clinking, steam hissing. But my world narrows to the stamped signatures on the will. My grandfather Samuel's handwriting looks almost fragile now, each loop a reminder of fairness he thought he was protecting. And my family, they shredded it. Rachel outlines options, petition the county clerk for a freeze on transactions, demand full disclosure from Richard, even file civil action. I jot notes with my fountain pen, the ink bleeding slightly on the napkin. Every step feels like walking further from family and closer to war. Arak, what shop broke in. My phone vibrates mid-conversation. Another voicemail from Mom. I don't play it, but the preview shows the first line. You don't understand the full picture. My stomach knots. Rachel leans forward. Daniel, you have to decide how far you're willing to go. If you push this, it will get ugly. I nod, though my pulse is hammering. Ugly is already here. When I leave, I don't drive home. Instead, I park outside the Aspen Ridge house. Lights glow in the windows. Shadows move in the dining room. My childhood home, the one meant to be ours, is beating like a heart I no longer recognize. I grip the steering wheel, the fountain pen resting in the console, and whisper to myself, they wanted me useful. Fine, let's see how useful the truth is. The next day, my phone is a battlefield. 3 missed calls from Elaine, 2 from Richard, 1 from Marcus. I finally pick up Mom's, half out of guilt, half out of curiosity. Sweetheart, she says, her tone sharp beneath the sugar. You're not really thinking of dragging outsiders into this, are you? Outsiders? I echo. You mean an attorney? Someone who can read? Don't be cruel. Families solve problems inside the family. Her voice wavers just enough to sound rehearsed. Before I answer, Dad cuts in on another line. His baritone firm, rehearsed like a boardroom pitch. Daniel, don't turn this into a spectacle. Marcus is establishing himself. If you block him, you block all of us. My laugh is hollow. So, the house was just leverage? That's what Grandpa's trust boiled down to? Silence. Then Dad says, you never understood sacrifice? I hang up, palms sweating. The word sacrifice loops in my head. Sacrifice was me patching their roof after hail ripped it open. Sacrifice was eating noodles while Marcus burned through another loan. Sacrifice was never asking for thanks. That evening, Marcus leaves a voicemail. His voice is calm, too calm. You think this ends with papers and signatures? You're not the only one with something to lose. I replay it twice, unsettled. He isn't just angry. He sounds like he's guarding a secret. The fountain pen sits on my desk, cold against my fingers. I flip through the will copies again, highlighting dates and clauses. Rachel was right. I can freeze activity, but the bigger question is why they're so desperate to hide the transfer. The house is supposed to be memory and security, but right now, it feels like a crime scene waiting to be processed, and I can't shake the sense that the first lie is only the surface. I decide to weaponize silence. No replies in the family chat, no returned calls. I let the notifications pile up like unopened bills. It takes less than a day for their tone to shift. Elaine's first voicemail is syrupy. We just want to celebrate Christmas together, Daniel. Don't hold grudges. The second is colder. You're tearing the family apart. By the third, her voice cracks. If you keep digging, you'll regret it. Each message confirms what Rachel warned me. The pressure isn't about unity. It's about control. And threats wrapped in maternal concern don't land the way they used to. I scroll through old texts, hunting for overlooked clues. 6 months back, there's one from Mom. Just FYI, Marcus is finally buying a place. So proud of him. You should call. I never replied. Now it reads like a red flag waving in plain sight. The next morning, I walk past Thornton and Lowe, LLP downtown. The law firm listed in Grandpa's estate letters. The brass nameplate gleams. My reflection stares back, thinner somehow. I imagine walking inside, dropping the folder on a mahogany desk, and saying, "Prove me wrong." Instead, I keep walking. I'm not ready yet, but soon. That night, my phone buzzes again. Marcus. The text is short. Meet me. Tonight. Don't bring anyone. The fountain pen is in my pocket, heavier than it should be. I stare at the screen, wondering if this is a trap or a confession waiting to happen. Either way, I know I'll go. I pick a neutral place, Brighton Diner off Federal, because fluorescent light and burnt coffee make bad decisions easier to see. I slide into a booth facing the door, fountain pen between my fingers like a metronome. 10 minutes pass. 15. The waitress tops off my mug and says, "You waiting on someone, hun?" "Yes," I answer, and though I'm less sure by the minute. Marcus finally texts, "Running late." 20, then 30, then nothing. I pay, step into the cold, and watch my breath blur the neon. If this was supposed to scare me, it's working in the wrong direction. At 11:42 p.m., my phone buzzes again. No subject, no sender name I recognize, just a single attachment, deed_pdf.pdf. The address looks like a burner, one vowel short of a real company. I forward it to my antivirus app, then open the file in my car with the dome light on. It's a scanned quitclaim deed, April 19th, transferring the Aspen Ridge house from Richard Mercer to Marcus Mercer. Consideration listed as love and affection. No trustee language. No mention of joint ownership. No disclosure of Grandpa Samuel's will. The notary seal at the bottom stops my breath. Marian Ortiz, the same woman who retired from Dad's real estate office the summer that date was stamped. For a moment, all I hear is the click of my hazard lights and the thud of my heartbeat. I zoom in on the seal, trace the ink blur around the loop of the signature. My mind keeps repeating one sentence. They filed this like none of us existed. I forward the PDF to Rachel with one line. "Tell me I'm wrong." She calls within 2 minutes. "This is bad," she says, voice low. "If the will existed, and it did, and Richard still conveyed sole title, that's misrepresentation at best. At worst," I ask, "criminal fraud. And if the notary didn't actually witness it, we're talking about a false acknowledgement." Headlights sweep across my windshield as a car pulls in behind me. Idle, ticking loud. For a second, I think it's Marcus, but the driver never gets out. I lock my doors anyway. Rachel keeps going, crisp and calm. "Tomorrow, we file a request to freeze any legal activity on the property with the county recorder. I'll draft a demand letter to your father for full documentation. Closing statements, title insurance, notary journal entries. And Daniel, screen record your phone. Save that email and its headers. I'm on it. And change your passwords. If this blows up, people get sloppy." When we hang up, I scroll through images of the deed again. The font shift between lines, the too clean spacing of the acknowledgement block, the way love and affection sits like a smirk. My phone lights. Another voicemail from Marcus. I don't play it, but the preview is chilling. "Think carefully before you make this public." The dome light flickers once and dies. The car feels smaller, the night louder. I pocket the fountain pen and breathe until my hands stop shaking. By 12:10 a.m., I'm home. I back up the PDF to 2 drives, export.eml with full headers, and drop everything into a folder labeled Mercer_house_freeze. Then I open a notes file and title it Timeline. 11:42 p.m. Anonymous email arrives. Attachment, deed_pdf.pdf. Deed date, April 19th, Ortiz, retired that summer. Consideration, love and affection. No trustee language, no will disclosure. I sit there, cursor blinking, and realize the thought that's been circling finally has words. The house wasn't leveraged for a mortgage. It was a getaway car, and they're flooring it. I shut the laptop. Sleep won't come. In the quiet, I hear Grandpa's voice the way he used to read aloud in the living room. Measured, fair, steady. I hold the pen to my palm until it leaves an imprint and make a promise that feels like a contract. Tomorrow we pull the brake. The county recorder's office smells of paper and dust. Rachel stands beside me, her blazer sharp against the beige walls, while the clerk frowns at the quitclaim deed we've submitted for review. He doesn't say much, but the way his jaw tightens tells me enough. Something is wrong here, and he sees it too. When we leave, Rachel exhales. They'll flag the file, but Daniel, this goes deeper. That deed was rushed. Look at the stamp sequence. It skips numbers. Means it was slid in, off cycle. I grip the fountain pen in my pocket like a lifeline. Off cycle? That isn't sloppy. It's deliberate. Back in my car, another message waits. Not Marcus this time. Richard, we need to talk before you embarrass us all. I don't reply. Instead, I scroll through every old record Rachel sent me last night. That's when I notice it. Grandpa Samuel wasn't the original owner. He inherited Aspen Ridge from his sister, Lorraine Carter, in 1974. And in the margin of the deed history, there's a name I've never seen. Emery Grant, claimant, 1975. Case dismissed for the lack of documentation. Why does that matter now? Why do I suddenly feel like I'm reading the preface to a book no one wanted me to open? That night, Marcus calls again. I answer this time. His tone is different. Not fiery, not mocking, measured. You don't know everything, Daniel, he says. Then tell me. A pause. Not over the phone. You dig too much. You'll bury yourself. The line goes dead. I sit frozen, his words repeating like a curse. You'll bury yourself. I can't let it go. I dig deeper. Newspaper archives, zoning applications, property records. 2 nights in, I find it. A commercial zoning request filed just 2 weeks ago. The lot behind Aspen Ridge, the garden where Lorraine used to plant lilacs, has been listed as collateral. Owner, Marcus. Developer, Richard Mercer and Company. The screen swims. This was never about family pride. It's about flipping history into cash. And they need me erased to make it stick. I slam the laptop shut, my reflection warped in the black screen. Grandpa's trust wasn't just violated, it's being stripped, parceled, sold. For the first time in years, anger doesn't drain me. It sharpens. I whisper into the empty room. You wanted me useful? Fine. Let's see how useful a fraud claim can be. Morning comes gray, heavy, as if Denver itself knows what's about to unravel. Rachel meets me in her office with printouts spread like a crime board, zoning requests, loan statements, parcel maps. She points to the garden lot deed. Here, see this update? Signed in 2019. Marcus's name. That's impossible unless someone transferred Lorraine's parcel separately. I swallow hard. Lorraine's garden was still in Grandpa's will. Rachel nods. Exactly. Which means your father and Marcus carved it out behind the curtain. And last year, Marcus used it to secure a loan. Nearly $195,000. I sink into the chair. A forgotten garden, twisted into collateral. My childhood memory of chasing fireflies there feels stolen too. Rachel continues, relentless. 2 weeks ago, the zoning board received a commercial development request. Applicant of record, Richard Mercer and Company my father. My chest tightens like a vice. I pull out the fountain pen, press it to my palm until it leaves a red dent. So, that's why they wanted me to co-sign Marcus's mortgage. To make my name disappear before the zoning went public. Rachel nods again. If your name showed up in review, the deal collapses. They needed you silenced. That night, I finally listened to Marcus's latest voicemail. His voice is calm, almost smug. You push this, Daniel. You're not the only one who loses. Some secrets don't stay buried. Think real hard. The words crawl under my skin. Not the only one who loses. Does he mean the family business? Or something older? Lorraine, Emery Grant, the 1975 claim buried in the records? I pace until midnight, every step echoing like a gavel strike. Then I sit down, open my laptop, and draft 3 filings. Fraud claim with the county against the quitclaim deed. Freeze request on all zoning activity tied to Aspen Ridge parcels. Notice of preservation to a historical society, flagging Lorraine's garden as a site of heritage. By 2 a.m., the documents are stamped and queued for processing. The house isn't just a home anymore, it's Exhibit A. When I close the laptop, the city is silent, except for the faint rattle of heat pipes. I whisper to the dark, "This time, I don't walk away. This time, I fight." Morning comes, gray, heavy, as if Denver itself knows what's about to unravel. Rachel meets me in her office with printouts spread like a crime board, zoning requests, loan statements, parcel maps. She points to the garden lot deed. "Here, see this update? Signed in 2019. Marcus's name. That's impossible unless someone transferred Lorraine's parcel separately." I swallow hard. Lorraine's garden was still in Grandpa's will. Rachel nods. "Exactly. Which means your father and Marcus carved it out behind the curtain. And last year, Marcus used it to secure a loan. Nearly $195,000. I sink into the chair. A forgotten garden, twisted into collateral. My childhood memory of chasing fireflies there feels stolen too. Rachel continues, relentless. 2 weeks ago, the zoning board received a commercial development request. Applicant of record, Richard Mercer and company, my father. My chest tightens like a vice. I pull out the fountain pen, press it to my palm until it leaves a red dent. So, that's why they wanted me to co-sign Marcus's mortgage. To make my name disappear before the zoning went public. Rachel nods again. If your name showed up in review, the deal collapses. They needed you silenced. That night, I finally listened to Marcus's latest voicemail. His voice is calm, almost smug. "You push this, Daniel. You're not the only one who loses. Some secrets don't stay buried. Think real hard." The words crawl under my skin. Not the only one who loses. Does he mean the family business? Or something older? Lorraine Emery Grant? The 1975 claim buried in the records? I pace until midnight, every step echoing like a gavel strike. Then I sit down, open my laptop, and draft 3 filings. Fraud claim with the county against the quitclaim deed. Freeze request on all zoning activity tied to Aspen Ridge parcels. Notice of preservation to a historical society. Flagging Lorraine's garden as a site of heritage. By 2 a.m., the documents are stamped and queued for processing. The house isn't just a home anymore. It's Exhibit A. When I close the laptop, the city is silent, except for the faint rattle of heat pipes. I whisper to the dark, "This time, I don't walk away. This time, I fight." Fallout doesn't wait. Within 48 hours, Marcus sends me a sarcastic email. "Congrats, little brother. You went full lawyer. Good luck proving anything." But the sarcasm cracks fast. By the end of the week, Thornton and Lowe, LLP, confirms receipt of my fraud filing. The county clerk issues a preliminary freeze on both the quitclaim deed and the zoning request. A cease and desist order lands on Richard's development company. Mom calls 3 times in one evening. The first is pleading, "You're ruining Christmas for everyone." The second is scolding, "Your grandfather would be ashamed." The third is quiet, almost broken, "Please, Daniel, just let Marcus have this. He needs it more." I can't tell her that Marcus already leveraged the garden lot for a $195,000 loan, or that Dad's company planned to profit off it, or maybe I don't want to. Explaining the betrayal feels like rubbing salt into a wound that never healed. Rachel keeps me steady. She emails updates with subject lines like, "Title freeze confirmed" and "Bank audit pending." Each line is proof the truth has weight. Through a cousin, I hear about the Mercer family dinner. Marcus left early. Dad ranted. Mom cried. No one said my name. My absence was louder than any toast. I sit in my apartment with a fountain pen pressed against my knuckle, watching ink stains on my hand fade into skin. For once, silence isn't exile. It's strategy. The more they push back, the clearer it becomes. They never thought I'd fight. They thought I'd stay useful, quiet, invisible. But the paper trail is louder than any of them. And soon, a judge will speak. March arrives with snowmelt on the gutters and a ruling from the county judge. The quitclaim deed is declared invalid. The trust was violated. The Aspen Ridge house and Lorraine's garden lot return to joint ownership. Marcus and me, 50-50. I sit in the courtroom, fountain pen in my pocket, while Richard stares at the floor. Elaine dabs her eyes with a tissue she never really uses. Marcus keeps glancing at me, jaw tight, as if daring me to gloat. I don't. Afterward, I give him a choice. Sell me his half at market value, cleanly, legally, permanently, or I push for criminal charges. He doesn't hesitate. He needs the cash, and his reputation is collapsing under the bank's audit. 2 weeks later, the paperwork is signed. I transfer the funds, and for the first time in my life, the house is truly mine. No strings, no secrets. I move in slowly, repaint the attic, replant the garden with lilacs in honor of Lorraine, fix the squeaky stair that haunted my childhood, and out back I mount a small plaque. For Lorraine Carter, whose story will not be buried. My parents stop calling. Richard resigns quietly from his company. Elaine sends one letter that says only, "You chose your side." Maybe I did, but for once, the side is mine. At night, I sit by the window with a fountain pen in hand, the house settling around me like an old coat. I don't wonder anymore if I could have done differently. For once, I chose myself, and I have no regrets.